Welcome to Times Square, 42nd Street, the electric heart of New York City. Standing here, you're in the middle of one of the most iconic intersections in the world. Stretching between Broadway and 7th Avenue, this place is alive 24/7. Day or night, weekday or weekend, it never truly sleeps. All around you, towering buildings climb high into the sky, their glass and steel facades acting like mirrors for the chaos and color below. Massive digital billboards flash and flicker non-stop, advertising everything from Broadway shows to fashion brands to global tech giants. These screens are so bright, they make it feel like daylight even at midnight. The energy here is electric. You'll see tourists from all over the world posing for selfies, street performers in elaborate costumes dancing, singing, or even freezing like statues, and yellow cabs weaving in and out of traffic. There's the occasional saxophone drifting from a subway grate, and often the echo of a performer belting out something from Hamilton or Phantom of the Opera. Speaking of Broadway, you're just steps away from some of the most famous theaters on earth. The red steps of the TKTS booth are a popular spot to rest and people watch, or to score discounted tickets to a show. Above you, the One Times Square building rises. It's the site of the New Year's Eve ball drop, a tradition watched by millions around the globe every December 31st. At street level, the sounds blend into a uniquely New York soundtrack: honking horns, the rush of people, snippets of conversation in a dozen languages. You might catch the aroma of hot pretzels or roasted nuts from food carts, or the scent of a slice from a nearby pizzeria. There's a constant hum of motion, bodies in motion, lights in motion, stories in motion. Beneath your feet, the subway system crisscrosses below, with the 1, 2, 3, N, Q, R, S, 7, A, C, and E lines all nearby, connecting this square to the farthest corners of the city. Times Square isn't just a destination, it's a gateway. In short, Times Square at 42nd Street is everything New York is known for: fast, loud, brilliant, crowded, and absolutely unforgettable. Whether you're here for a few minutes or a lifetime, it leaves a mark. Times Square, centered around the intersection of 42nd Street, Broadway, and 7th Avenue in Midtown Manhattan, is one of the most iconic and bustling locations in New York City and the world. Often referred to as the crossroads of the world, it's a symbol of the city's vibrant energy, diversity, and fast-paced lifestyle. Times Square attracts over 50 million visitors a year. It's a place where street performers, tourists, and New Yorkers coexist in a whirl of lights, music, and motion. From major flagship stores like the Disney Store and M&M's World, to open-air art installations and global advertising, it's a space where commercialism meets culture. 42nd Street also connects Times Square to other key NYC destinations, like Bryant Park, the New York Public Library, and Grand Central Terminal, making it a central artery in Manhattan. Despite the overwhelming lights and noise, Times Square is one of the safest places in New York City due to its high police presence and heavy surveillance. Times Square continues to be a vibrant hub of activity in May 2025, hosting a diverse array of events that showcase the city's dynamic culture and entertainment scene. Here's a snapshot of recent and upcoming happenings. Live performances and cultural events. TSQ Live Series. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m., Times Square hosts live music performances as part of the TSQ Live Series. Upcoming shows include performances at M Social on May 17th and Russian Samovar on May 24th. These free events feature local artists and are part of a broader initiative to bring diverse cultural experiences to the area. Improv for Kids. On May 3rd, the Broadway Comedy Club in Times Square hosted a family-friendly improv comedy show. The event featured spontaneous skits and interactive performances designed to engage children and families, promoting creativity and communication skills. Mayday USA Rally. On May 5th, a rally took place in Times Square advocating for children's rights and family values. The event included worship, prayer, testimonies, and community activities, drawing attention to social issues affecting families. Grounded in the Stars, Sculpture. A 12-foot bronze statue by British artist Thomas J. Price, depicting a young black woman, was installed in Times Square on April 29th. The sculpture aims to challenge traditional representations in public monuments and is part of a temporary exhibition running through June 17, 2025. Times Square Comedy Festival. This annual event, typically held in May or June, brings together renowned comedians for a series of performances across various venues in Times Square. The festival features stand-up shows, new comedian competitions, and other comedy-related activities, contributing to the area's vibrant entertainment landscape. Macy's Flower Show. Held from April 27 to May 11, the Macy's Flower Show at Herald Square showcased elaborate floral displays, marking the arrival of spring in New York City. The event is a beloved tradition, attracting both locals and visitors to experience the vibrant floral arrangements. With pleasant weather and a variety of events, Times Square remains a must-visit destination for both locals and tourists seeking to experience the cultural heartbeat of New York City. Originally known as Longacre, also Longacre Square after London's Carriage District, Times Square served as the early site for William H. Vanderbilt's American Horse Exchange. In the late 1880s, Longacre Square consisted of a large open space surrounded by drab apartments. Soon, however, the neighborhood began to change. Electricity, in the form of theater advertisements and street lights, transformed public space into a safer, more inviting environment. Likewise, the construction of New York's first rapid transit system, the Interborough Rapid Transit Company, IRT, gave New Yorkers unprecedented mobility in the city. In January 1905, the Times finally moved into their new headquarters, built between Broadway and 7th Avenue and 42nd and 43rd Streets. The announcement of the IRT spurred real estate speculation by shrewd businessmen who believed that increased foot traffic in the area would generate profits. Adolph S. Ochs, owner and publisher of the New York Times from 1896 to 1935, saw an opportunity and selected a highly visible location to build the Times Tower, which was the second tallest building in the city at the time. In January 1905, the Times finally moved into their new headquarters, built between Broadway and 7th Avenue and 42nd and 43rd Streets. The previous spring, Mayor George B. McClellan signed a resolution that renamed the intersection of Broadway and 7th Avenue from Longacre Square to Times Square. Ochs told the Syracuse Herald, "I am pleased to say that Times Square was named without any effort or suggestion on the part of the Times." Yet, he clearly felt proud. The new building represented the first successful effort in New York to give architectural beauty to a skyscraper, he said. Within a decade, the Times outgrew their space and moved to a new location, but not before starting a tradition that continues today, the New Year's Eve Spectacular. Ochs staged the first event to commemorate the new building, and crowds still gather today to bring in the new year. The negative impacts of the Great Depression and World War II on Times Square solidified over time. In the 1950s, attempts to stop the growth of disreputable businesses through zoning rules met with few results. Then the 1960s arrived. As one scholar notes, the libertarianism of the 60s changed the meaning of obscene, thereby opening a space for the public sale of adult allurements. For example, the success of the 25-cent peep show, introduced in 1966, spurred other small businesses to follow the trend by selling adult films and erotic merchandise. Profits rose, the cost of leases skyrocketed, and then the mob muscled in around 1968. On the streets, prostitution by all genders, open drug trade, alcoholism, and con games, like three-card Monte and Clio, became commonplace. Inside, crime thrived in the underground corridors of the subway and the passages at the Port Authority bus terminal despite the abundance of police. In 2018, the New York City Economic Development Council created a short documentary about the economic transformation of 42nd Street in New York City starting in the early 1980s, from the center of vice and crime in NYC to an area where millions of people pass through each year. Against All Odds tells the story through interviews with the people who made this transformation happen: project leaders, real estate developers, architects, law enforcement officials, and historic preservationists. Times Square is still a destination for many every day, for those living in New York, the United States, or those from around the world. If you think so, please leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe to the channel.